Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the update preview stream. This is Bugs here. I'm joined today by Artemis and Miss D. That's me. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
So, how's everyone doing today? Well, I'm doing well. I'm excited because we're over here giving a first look on an update preview stream of this new nuclear missile silo monument. So, as always, we're going to go through what's going on in Rust development. We're going to show off this monument. And as always, if you have questions, feel free to do at Miss D underscore that's me in chat. Did you sense the hesitation there? I was like, at Miss D underscore that's me in chat. Because if you missed it, uh, Shadow is still with us, but in the form of Miss D. And it's confusing the hell out of me each weekend. Maybe sometime in like mid 2024, it won't be a problem for me. But in the meantime, expect some hesitation when I'm going to say her name. Anyway, if you have any questions, do at Misty underscore that's me in chat as always. And before we get into it, let's go over what's going on with wipes today. Well, Rustafied servers are wiping the weekly and bi-weekly Thursday wipe servers. So that's your mains, your mediums, your trios, smalls, barons, EUS if you're in EU, and Zen Labs, which are also still running Happus once again this week. And these servers are just map wipe only, as we are mid-month, and they do wipe at the regular scheduled time for the region, which is 3 p.m. local time for each region. That means AU and SEA wiped like 12, 13 hours ago, and EU wiped 3 hours ago, and US will wipe in 2 hours at 3 p.m. EST. Once again, map wipes only, and it's the Thursday bi-weekly and weekly wipe servers. Okay, let's get into it. We've got a new monument. We're over here on the Aux 2 branch, and with it, there is the nuclear missile silo, the newest monument in the game. Now, this is still a work in progress. It is publicly available to test. If you want to join the Aux 2 branch, you can do so by going to your Steam library, right clicking on Rust Staging, go to Properties, the Betas tab, and then in the select dropdown in there, select Aux 2, and then run an update on your client. And then you can join a server that has the nuclear missile silo on it. Based on the maps we've spawned up on our test servers, it looks like the nuclear missile silo is on pretty much every map. In fact, I've yet to see a map where it's not on. So it looks like this is a mainstay, like main monument that's going to be here, which is interesting. There's a lot of interesting and unknown things about this monument, but we'll start with what we do know. Let's start with the outside. As we can see, it's not so much going on the outside. It's mostly an underground monument, as we expected. There's a couple outbuildings and stuff like that, some fuel tanks and things, and a little antenna so you can kind of see it from a bit farther away. And it's kind of worked into this rock face and raised terrain a little bit. And we have seen it spawn in the desert. This is more like in the forest biome a bit. And we have seen it spawn in the Arctic as well. It looks like it's set to not spawn in tier 0 areas, though. So, like, not going to spawn near fresh spawns. But it's interesting because although the majority of the monument exists underground, you can't just walk into it all willy nilly. You got to do a thing. Now, keep in mind, all subject to change. So, just because it's this way now doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be that way when this goes live. But at the moment, you walk into one of the outbuildings and press a button. And when you press that button, the big hatch for the nuclear missile silo itself actually opens up. Now, it doesn't open up permanently. It actually just opens up momentarily. So it opens up slowly. And by the time it gets to the top, it pretty much almost immediately starts coming down again. So you got to press that button, then run in and jump down in there before it closes again. But do be mindful because there are a new form of NPC scientists going on down in this nuclear missile silo. These are the NVGM scientists, as they're known in the F1 menu. And they're like your normal scientist that you're going to find, but they have a different look to them. They've got night vision goggles. And I believe they're dropping the same loot. We'll have to test that, but I believe they're dropping the
Yeah.
same loot.
Yeah, they are.
Cool. Yeah, nothing special loot-wise with these NPCs, but there are 10 or so at least down here, so you will wanna be mindful when you're going down. And the structure of this monument is interesting. So the main structure is made up of the nuclear missile silo itself, like the actual silo part, and there's a big I'm assuming nuclear missile in there. And but then adjacent to that silo going down, there's multiple levels of other parts of the silo. And you can see that here. And the parts are labeled like level 1, 2, all the way down to level 5. And as you go deeper, that's the greater levels. So it goes down that way. And it's hard to see the full thing by free camming because the way that the coding works for the underground stuff, it actually clips your view of the full thing when you're free camming underground like that. But it is a fairly good sized structure. There's once again 5 total levels. At the moment, there's no radiation, there's no loot. It is just um, it's just display stuff and the NPC scientist. But as you go down, you'll find living quarters, you'll find bathrooms, you'll find computer rooms, and then on the bottom level, actually, and we'll get to that shortly here, you'll find a room with some warheads and barrels and a truck and some computer racks. And there's also elevators to take to go throughout. It's relatively dark, but there's some lights on, so you don't fully need night vision necessarily, but some parts are darker than the others. And as you just go down, you can see you kind of weave through the living quarters and stuff like that, and then come back to the silo. You have to do some jumps and work your way down. And it's kind of a bit of a maze of sorts, and but you can look for the labels on the walls and everything to see what level you're on at various parts as you go down. Now, what's also really interesting, and potentially most interesting about this monument in particular, is the devs have said this will basically provide a little bit more insight into the happenings along and around the Rust Island. So that leads us to believe like this will potentially provide some more details and elaborate a bit on the lore of Rust. And now also being a nuclear missile silo, and specifically Alistair said the monument will add some meaning to the events unfolding on the island. So what's interesting is this being a nuclear missile silo, and we're not yet seeing any loot really here. We're not seeing radiation. It does behave in a way different than most monuments, as in you kind of get locked in. You can't just exit and enter. Enter. God, why couldn't I figure out the word enter? You can't
I think we
enter
should
and
come back
exit
here.
like just super easy. You guys could,
Yeah, I just wanted to go over here to show this
Oh yeah,
side.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
but cool. And yeah, we're down to level 5 here. You can see, and then this is the room with the warhead and well, a couple warheads and some computers. And so it's interesting to see what's going on here. Now, speaking of the lore of Rust, some people have pointed out that like years ago, Gary, when talking about the future of the game, did play with the idea of having some player catalyzed wipe event. And I think he even mentioned using some sort of nuclear explosion. So, use your imagination here. This potentially could be that. Now, we have no idea if it is. This is pure conjecture. This is pure just hypothesis. But it stands that if they did want to have a player controlled or player catalyzed wipe event on the servers, it would be via probably a monument and something you do at a monument. And if it was a wipe due to a nuclear detonation, then what better monument than a nuclear missile silo to have that take place at? So, once again, pure conjecture, no idea what this actually is going to be. But we do have just the words of the devs to go off of that. It will elaborate a bit more, give a bit more insight into the happenings around the Rust Island. So we're gonna have to wait and see like what this actually does mean. But As always, everything's subject to change, still a work in progress. Not clear if this is going to make it in for the update May 4th in 2 weeks. That is the next update in Forced Wipe. And, given this is on Aux 2 is the bleeding edge of initial testing. It doesn't necessarily hold the weight of the things on it going live the next force wipe as, say, like normal staging does. If something is on normal staging, then we can say with pretty much confidence that it's going to be live in the next update in force wipe. This being on Aux 2 and potentially given the ramifications of what this monument might do as opposed to just other monuments, as in this isn't necessarily just going to be a source of loot. Uh, I could see us having to wait another month or two before this actually goes live in the game. But as always, we'll keep you posted. It's uh, definitely a very interesting new monument, and we're going to keep a close eye on what unfolds here and what functionality unfolds. Based on the commits, we're still seeing changes to it. We're still seeing additions to it. So this is by no means its finished state, but basically this is just to give you a little taste of what the nuclear missile silo monument is going to look like, how you're going to navigate it, and all that good stuff. And as always, if you want to see some more pictures or anything like that, check out rustafied.com. I've got an article kind of summarizing this in text and pictures, and we do that every Thursday, just updating people on what's going on in Rust development for the week. So that is the nuclear missile silo. We'll keep peeking around here as I discuss a couple other changes because the other stuff isn't really show offable on Aux 2 or anything, but it is significant. Specifically, this one, a bit more of a controversial change this week. They did disable the ability to disable skins. I know that's kind of a double disabling there, but basically you can no longer turn off workshop item skins. Previously, a lot of people would set this CVAR that would make it so that regardless of what the player was actually wearing as far as a skinnable item is concerned, it literally just shows the default skin. And that's something that a lot of people have used by default for a while now. Now, this week, the devs did make a change saying that no one besides a developer or an admin can use this command. So basically, every player now is going to be forced to see the workshop item skins that any person that they come across is wearing. And this, of course, is brought up uh, some controversy. The devs basically said something along the lines of it is to and I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by the stream. I gotta not watch the stream as I'm also talking because it distracts the hell out of me. But anyway, the devs noted that the skins are a default part of the gameplay, and it's important to make sure they aren't being disabled as to keep a level playing field. So that's where the devs are coming from that. And of course, some players are like popping back with, well, you got to pay for the skins, and the skins have some benefit as far as aesthetics and blending in with the environment. And so, you know, is that fair? And I can see where the devs are coming from. It does definitely make the skins are a default part of the game, and having people all have the same experience in the game does provide some level playing ground, right? But also the skins can aesthetically provide you some benefit, arguably, in certain environments, and they cost money. So some people could quit back and say, "Oh, well, it's pay to get a benefit." Wherever you land on it, it really doesn't matter because it looks like this is going live in the game and probably will go live May 4th with the update. So that's just a heads up to everyone. And if you own certain skins, hey, might be a good investment because I do see how this could cause the value of certain skins to go up because they'll be more beneficial, now that people can't disable them. So interesting change. Going to keep an eye on that one. Also, speaking of changes, we got some changes to the Rust Plus app coming in. And this, as a server owner, very happy to see. They are reducing the range of Rust Plus cameras and basically the range that the cameras can see players from. They're also allowing Rust Plus cameras to see the names of players only if they're really close to the camera. So not just defaultly seeing the names. And this will hopefully rein in some of the craziness that's gone on with third-party apps using the Rust Plus API to integrate with the game and provide some unintended benefits for certain players. Also, we got more work on the Building Skins 3 branch. And this, I did a little digging and did pretty much confirm, and it's still kind of a rumor, but pretty much confirm that this is for a DLC upcoming that's going to allow you to actually skin your bases, which is going to be pretty cool. That's been like years in the concept limbo. And it looks like it's being worked on with a pretty good velocity because we are seeing the Building Skins 3 commits come in pretty much every week now. And so, according to commits, what we're seeing is basically a couple types of skins. There's going to be a brutalist skin, which I'm having a hard time picturing. Maybe that'll be like animal hides and shit. I'm not sure what that's going to be. A brick skin, now that I can sort of picture. A brick skin is a little bit easier to picture, and a stone block skin, also easier to picture. But basically, three skins being worked on. And that word on the street is going to be a DLC probably released later this year, maybe this summer. We do often see summertime DLC releases, and it will allow you to change the skin and the look and feel of your entire base. And that's going to be really interesting because that's going to significantly shift the overall look of the landscape of Rust. And I think could really add some nice, contrast to buildings and make things look better and all that stuff. So we're keeping an eye on that as well. And in the realm of other stuff, we've got more work on the mission editor. This seems to be a focal point of Helk, and not sure exactly what the mission editor is going to be. If this is going to be just an editor that developers can use to more rapidly generate new missions for the game and more elaborate missions for the game, or if this is going to be an editor that will be handed over maybe to server owners and allow them to create custom missions for their servers. Or even if it's a mission editor, maybe players could create their own missions to give to other people. Who knows? But this mission editor is in progress. We'll let you know when we know more about that. There's also more work on the attack helicopter. It's been a work in progress for a couple months now. And based on the commits, it's going to be kind of the big brother to the minicopter in that instead of wheels, it's going to have skis. And instead of just flying around, it'll fly around and shoot shit too. So it's going to have the pilot seat and the gunner seat. And the gunner is going to have a cam to be able to look, and it looks like shoot rockets and maybe even a gimbaled gun of sorts, and basically, attack with the helicopter. So no word on when that's coming in. Haven't seen it merged into any staging or anything yet, but you better believe as soon as that's merged into staging, we're going to get on there and let you know everything you need to know about that new upcoming vehicle. Also, there's more work on deployable quarries. That's an interesting one because we used to have quarries in the game that were deployable, but they got removed by the devs. And now it seems like the devs are working on bringing them back in some manner, shape, or form. I imagine they're not going to be exactly in the same state that they were when they were removed, because then why would the devs remove them? But it does look like some form of deployable quarry is going to be coming back at some point in the future here. They've also added a menu option to toggle using Steam nicknames for friends, and that's important for streamers. If you're on streamer mode, but you have a friend with a nickname, it was still showing the friend's nickname in the streamer mode. And so now you can turn that off, which is good. And then also they've added an option to change radial menu from hold to toggle mode so that it works on trackpads. I don't know how many people are playing this game on trackpad, but if you do and you try to use a radio menu currently, you're going to have a bad time. So that is a nice little fringe case option that they're adding there. And then finally, they have fixed the pumpkin being equipped on the head when you right click it from the inventory. So no more accidental head pumpkins. And that about does it with what's going on in Rust development for the week. Oh, also, Easter's gone. As of a optional server and client update on Tuesday, 2 days ago, Easter was disabled for the year. So I hope you all had a wonderful Easter and enjoyed the festivities around the Rust landscape. But no more egg hunts for this year. Wait until next year. And yeah, and then with that, we are oh, happy 420. We're 2 weeks away from the force wipe and update. And so May 4th is when we expect the next update to come out. Once again, not sure if this nuclear missile silo is going to go live May 4th or if we're going to have to wait another month or so. I could really see it going either way, depending on the complexities of what they're planning on doing with this nuke missile silo. But as always, we will keep you posted. And with that, Misty, do we have any questions from the audience?
Yeah, we have a few, not a lot. When is Web?
So whips are happening at the regular scheduled time for the region. This is, of course, just for Rustafied servers. Other servers might have their and do have their own wipe schedule, so you'll have to check in with them. But for Rustified servers, they wipe at 3 p.m. local time for the region. So that means that EU servers wiped 3 hours and 20 minutes ago. SEA and AU wiped like 12, 13 hours ago, something like that. And the US region is going to wipe at 3 p.m. EST, which is just over an hour and a half from now. And these are map wipes only, and it is the Thursday weekly and bi weekly servers wiping. So that's your mains, small, Baron, mediums, trio, Zen Labs, and the like.
How do you run it on your own server?
The nuclear missile silo?
Yeah, I
I'm
think
guessing.
so.
Okay. Yeah, that you would have to start the server up, update the server with the aux2 staging branch flag, and then just start the server like normally. But you just got to update the server with the dash beta and then aux2 branch. And I'm sure you can just Google like Rust aux2 start server. I'm sure there's the specific, syntax out there easily accessible.
And someone is asking if this is a new Hassie skin.
This is not a new Hazy skin for players. This is a new scientist skin for the NPCs. This is the NVGM scientist skin, and these scientists appear to be spawning just at the nuclear missile silo, the new monument coming in, which is currently on aux2.
How bad is the radiation there, if there is any?
At the moment, we're not seeing any radiation, but also keep in mind this is a work in progress and it's actively having stuff added to it each day. And so, with that in mind, and also, look, it's a nuclear missile silo. There's got to be radiation, right? When it goes live? I don't know. That's my
I mean,
thought.
in my opinion, I think if it's like a missile, I think it should be hotter. So right now you don't see scientist on top. I would think that would be added as well. So yeah,
Yeah, I think, work in progress. What we're seeing here is just a portion of what the actual live monument is going to be, especially from a functionality standpoint. I feel like the overall layout is pretty much flat. And now what they're doing is adding some extra functionality in there. So I imagine there will be radiation coming, but hey, I could be wrong. Once again, we're not developers. We're just fans of the game like you who love reporting on development news and running the best servers that we can. So, you know, we're just we're just sharing what we know.
we just work here.
And I think,
Yeah, yeah.
and I think as well, there's no loot at the moment, so I'm sure the reds and the loot will probably change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there's absolutely zero loot here. And even if the end goal of this monument is to do something else, I imagine there's going to be some loot. So, yeah, work in progress. We'll keep you posted.
Can you sit on the toilets?
No.
Important questions, but no.
You actually can. I just sat on one
Oh,
inside.
you can. Okay,
Oh,
good.
Yeah,
they eat it, fair enough.
it said mount. I was sitting on a toilet. I wonder if it will let you foundation wipe just a single target.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if it's a nuke, I imagine it's going to be more than just foundation wiping one specific
Right.
target. We've got the MLRS, which I mean doesn't, of course, foundation wipe or anything, but um, yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. I'm really curious about this. So I'm not going to go too far and speculate too much, but I think it is important and interesting to point out that the devs have said this is going to be, you know, illuminating a bit more of the lore or shedding a bit more light on the happenings around the Rust Island. And it's a nuclear missile silo. And years ago, Gary did talk about a, you know, player catalyzed wipe event due to nuclear blast. So, I mean, you put those things together, I definitely see how that could what this could become. But also, that was years ago. A lot in the concept limbo realm and a lot of original ideas have never come to fruition or have changed over the years. You know, they added like an XP leveling system years ago, and you had to unlock blueprints by like leveling up your XP, and that totally got ripped out. So, you know, anything could happen, but this is definitely one we're keeping a close eye on.
Is there any work on weapon and armor ranks?
There, I don't know if there are any commits this week, but it is definitely moving forward. The weapon and armor racks, or just weapon racks, I should say, are definitely moving forward. I'd say they're going to make it into the game. I did hear one little thing, and this is totally unsubstantiated, but that maybe the weapon racks will be part of the DLC for the building blocks, the building skin DLC. I don't know, maybe it's going to be like a not just a building skin DLC, but like a building decoration DLC that also has some other in-base deployable elements like the weapon rack. But really not sure. It does look like the weapon racks are definitely moving forward and going to make it into the game. It's just at this point not clear when and how.
Let's see, I don't think we have any questions right now, so let's do a recap. And if people have more questions, we can do that after the recap.
Sounds good. So a little recapity cap here. We're over here on the aux 2 branch, so showing off the nuclear missile silo, which is the newest monument to make its way into the game. We are 2 weeks away from the forced wipe and update, which will be on May 4th. And not clear yet if this nuclear missile silo will make it in for prime time on that date. But nevertheless, we're looking around and we're seeing how this work in progress is going. Before that, real quick, Easter was disabled and turned off this week in an update for servers and clients on Tuesday. So as of 2 days ago, Easter should be off on most servers. I hope you all had a great Easter and a lovely Easter event in Rust. But yeah, onto this nuclear missile silo. It is available for public testing on the aux 2 branch. It is spawning on pretty much every map that we've tested, regardless of size and everything like that. It's not spawning near spawn beaches or anything like that. So it does look like it's going to be more on the higher tier of monuments as far as categorization is concerned. And it does also feature the newest NPC model, the NVGM Scientist. And now this whole thing's a work in progress. Features are limited. There's no loot, there's no radiation at the moment, and everything is subject to change. But at the time being, how this works basically is it's mostly an underground monument, but you got to go through a little button pressing procedure to get in there, really, first and foremost. And that starts on the surface where you go into one of the outbuildings and press a button. Then the actual hatch, the big hatch on top, will open up slowly. And then, as almost as soon as it opens up completely, it starts closing again. So it's only open for about 30 seconds to a minute total. So during that time, you got to run over and hop in there. As you do, make sure you're watching out for the NVGM scientists because there are 10 or so down there. They're dropping the same loot as other scientists at the moment based on what we're seeing and have the same weaponry and stuff like that. They just have this new cool look of like night vision goggles. And I don't know, what does the M stand for? NVGM. Night vision goggle
There's an M.
man. Yeah, if you look at the F1, it says
Oh,
NVGM scientist. So I'm like, just thinking, night vision goggle man? I don't know. Anyway,
master. Yeah.
yeah, night vision goggle master. Yeah, well, anyway, so those are the scientists in there. And as you go down, you're going to basically see this big silo. And that's kind of the one of the main, of course, features of the monument is the big silo with the big missile in it. And then adjacent to that, you're going to find various different levels. There's like level 1 through 5. And on those levels, you're going to find the scientists. And then you'll also see various different living quarters and bathrooms and computer rooms and things like that, offices and all that good stuff. And once you reach the bottom level, you're going to find like a room with warheads and barrels and a truck and some computer racks. So that's kind of like the heart of the monument. It sort of seems at the moment, and it's kind of like a maze of going through. You gotta like kind of uh, wind through the various. Uh, Man, I'm having a hard time with my words today.
It's all
Uh,
good. You basically got to
Brain
keep going
farting. Yeah.
down as far as you
yeah,
can. Every time you get to an elevator, if you can go down until you have to go back up again.
thank you so much, Artemis. I appreciate that. It
You're
gave
good.
me a chance to sip my coffee too, which I apparently need right now. So but yeah, you go down, you wind through the mazes, and then you work your way up. And to get out, what you do is you eventually find this blue puzzle where you swipe a blue card, and then you get out. So based on what we're seeing, to get out of this puppy, you need a blue card. So at the moment, don't enter it unless you have a blue card because it doesn't look like you're getting out. Can you jump out from the top hatch if you're in there?
No.
No, you can't, right?
Mm-mm.
No,
Yeah. So yeah, once you're in, you're in. And if you don't have a blue card, then
too
well,
bad.
tough noogies. And once they add radiation, which they probably will in here, yeah, I don't know. You might not be too long for this world if you go in there. But once again, still a work in progress. We'll keep you posted. But the arguably most interesting thing about this monument is what Alistair did say on Reddit the other week, which is this will provide a bit more insight into the happenings around the Rust Island. So take with that what you will. But it does look like this will illuminate a bit more of the lore of Rust once it's ready. Now, as everything with Ox 2 is concerned, you can test this yourself. Ox 2 is open to the public at the moment. Sometimes Ox 2 is closed off, sometimes it's open, but at the moment, it's open. So if you want to try this out, you can go to your Steam library, right click on the Rust staging, go to properties, go to the betas tab, and select Ox 2 from the list, and then let the client update run, and you can join the server. And now, in other news, they have disabled the ability to disable workshop skins. So previously, there was this CVAR that you could run, and then regardless of what workshop skin a player was wearing, you would just see the default skin. And that ability has been disabled for everyone except developers and server moderators at this point. So as of the May 4th update, when you're running around, you're going to be forced to view the skin that any player is wearing. And that has brought up some controversy. Some people are saying that's not fair. But the devs have spoke out and basically said that the skins are a default part of gameplay, and it's important to make sure they aren't being disabled as to keep the playing field level. So, regardless of your point of view, this is a change that's happening, and it looks like it's coming in for the May 4th update. So, keep that in mind. Also, we've got some changes to Rust Plus coming, some tweaks to how it works. Specifically, it's reducing the range that the Rust Plus cameras can see players. And then also, it's only showing the names of players if they're really close to the camera. And this is going to kind of pinch off some of the issues that I think were unforeseen, where people were using some third-party software to integrate with the Rust Plus API to get some information in ways that the devs I don't think originally intended. So this is just kind of tying some of that up, which as a server owner, I'm very happy to see. Also got more work on the Building Skins 3 branch, and word on the street is this is an upcoming DLC that will allow you to change the look of your actual bases. And it looks like there's going to be 3 skins: a brutalist skin, not sure what that is, a brick skin, I can picture that, and a stone block skin. And maybe potentially this is where the weapon racks will be worked into as well into this DLC. Not sure, but that was just a little whisper I heard. So, not sure. We'll keep you posted as always. Also, there's a bunch of other stuff being worked on. There's the mission editor, which we're not exactly clear how that's going to come in, but it looks like there's going to be some more missions and more complexity, potentially 2 missions coming in the near future. Not sure if that mission editor is going to be just for devs to use to more rapidly and easily create missions, or if it's going to be given as a tool for either server owners or players to create their own missions. So we'll keep you posted. Also, more work on the attack helicopter. That's the big brother to the mini copter that's going to shoot stuff. And also more work on deployable quarries. I mean, that's some form of deployable quarry is coming back. And we're not sure exactly how that's going to be implemented, but we are seeing work on that branch pretty much every week now. So it could be sooner than we expect. Also, they added a menu option to toggle using Steam nicknames for friends, and they added a option to change radial menu from hold to toggle mode to work on trackpads. And finally, they fixed the pumpkin being equipped on the head when you right click it from the inventory.
Apologies, this swipe seems to hate me today.
The swipe's not working?
But it did.
Well, work in progress, work in progress. It's not you, it's the swipe. But anyway, yeah, Miss D, we've got any other questions from the audience?
I think I found a few. Um, is it procedurally generated, the layout?
No, the layout of the nuclear missile silo is not procedurally generated. It is a fixed structure. It is a
Mm,
little confusing. It's kind of a little maze like in how you got to go through the hallways and stuff like that and down and then back up a bit, but it is static.
that's it. And also, don't worry. So there's things that we've noticed at the minute, as you see with the blue card, and also with the elevators at the moment. Sometimes they get a bit stuck, so you have to push them a few times
Yeah, and these are still just, facets
because it's a
of,
whip. Yeah.
yeah, of whip. And subject to change. Everything's subject to change.
Always. The scientist suit, by the way, NVGM scientist suit probably stands for NVG missile because it's the missile
Oh,
site.
it's the missile
Of course.
silo. Yeah, that's some smart thinking there, people.
Let me see here. Can you have someone outside open it again if you're stuck inside?
No, well, you can have someone open it, but you can't jump out. Once you jump in, you got to drop down, and you can't, once you're down there, jump out.
Yeah,
And you
there's
can't
no way
place any
for that.
ladders or anything. So, yeah, it's kind of designed to lock you in.
It's a commitment. Yep.
It is definitely a commitment. And still no loot down there at the moment, so we can't see, what if the juice is going to be worth the squeeze, so to speak. But also, given this is going to maybe illuminate some more on the lore of Rust, there might be more than just loot to be found down here, which is interesting.
Aren't they adding new markers and adding pings?
Yeah, that was added. That's in. That came in this
Yeah,
month.
it's already in. Is the building skin available on Test Branch?
No, building skin is still solely on the building skins 3 branch. So not available for testing. No visuals on what the skins are going to look like. I am very interested in what they're going to look like because I mean that's going to change the entire landscape of Rust, right? If you go around and see a bunch of different buildings with a bunch of new skins, it's going to be cool. But at the moment, no visuals and no ability to test quite yet.
Do the scientists behave different in any noticeable way? I assume they
No,
probably heal like other new scientists.
it's as
No, just normal scientists.
yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's using the same AI that's running all the other scientists. They haven't like recoded the AI for these guys. It's literally just a different skin that they're wearing, but other than that, it's same behavior.
And I see someone again asking about rads.
No rads yet.
Not yet, but I would imagine they probably would add them.
I don't think I see any questions.
And at the moment, you just need a blue card. You don't need a blue card to get in the nuclear missile silo, but you do need a blue card swipe to get out. Because there's only one way out. It is not the way you get in through the top hatch. Once you get in through the top hatch, you can't jump up, you can't get out. So it's a one way exit, which is all the way through the other end of the monument. And so you're going to have to work your way through all the scientists and all that stuff. Once again, no radiation, no loot, not finalized, all work in progress, but that's how it's shaping up to be based on what we're seeing on Aux 2 now.
I wonder if it's only millicrate since it's blue card.
Yeah, it really could go any way as far as I'm concerned. And maybe if the sole purpose of this silo is for something beyond loot, maybe there won't be loot. I don't know. Maybe this will just be a place to go to blow up the rest of the server. I don't know.
So what you said, I keep hearing building skins. Are we talking monument or base skins? Is it just wall colors or what?
These are actually apparently, and this is word on the street, this is all hearsay, but the Building Skin 3 is apparently for base skins. So it's going to be 3 new skins. I feel like they need to add one more so I can say 4 skins. But it's going to be 3 new skins for just applying to your base. There's going to be the, what the hell were they calling it? I got to scroll down here. The
Is it
Brutalist.
Brutalist?
Yeah, Brutalist, which I'm picturing like the bone armor for some reason. I'm picturing
Maybe like the skulls
leather,
on spikes and stuff.
yeah, skulls and spikes and hides stretched across places. I don't know, but there's the brutalist skin, the brick skin, and the stone block skin. And this is all based off commits. We've got no visuals yet. It's all still on a separate branch and not available for testing, but it is based on what we're seeing for your bases that you're building. So this is going to be a new look for the bases you're building. And I'm wondering, so wouldn't it make sense because we have different tiers of base? You know, we have the twig and the wood and the stone and the yada yada yada. I wonder if each tier, and I would imagine it must, right? Each tier of building skin, like for brick, is going to have different visuals for each skin. So potentially there's like a bunch of new types of visuals for bases coming in here, because they're going to have to differentiate between the level of the skin. So it sounds like a lot of work for the devs for one, but we have seen this be a work in progress for a while now, so that makes sense. But yeah, and word on the street once again, this is hearsay, but this is going to be for a DLC going live sometime this year. So we'll keep you posted as we learn more. But this certainly looks like it's going to be a big visual change to the landscape of Rust once it comes in.
When is the update?
The update is 2 weeks from today, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. And that is going to be the force wipe and update. And yeah, that's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern. So, like 2 weeks and 18 minutes from now is when we expect the update and force wipe to go live. This is just an update preview stream as we do every week, every Thursday, same time, same place. And of course, we have the article on rustafied.com as always. That goes live Thursday, first thing midnight Eastern time, and summarizes everything going on in Rust development in text and pictures.
Do we have any news on Rustafied side?
Yeah, we have been doing a lot more shorts and a lot more like content on the Twitter and YouTube and Instagram and TikTok realm. So if you're not following us over there and you want to see like some shorts as this stuff hits staging, definitely go check that out. Basically, our goal with that, we got some new team members on working on this stuff, and our goal is as a new item hits staging, we just put out a 10 to 20, maybe 30-second short, just showing it off to you real quick, and then we're blasting that out to all the socials. So check that out. We're trying to do a lot more content and just really as agilely and quickly as we can, like show people what is hitting the development branch as it does. So that's going on. Also, we've been doing a bunch of changes and improvements to our Discord. So we've got a whole new way of doing a whole new kind of form of the map voting. And we've got a whole new onboarding process because the verification process for talking and looking for group and for getting the map voting role, if you tried it in the past several weeks, it was kind of a mess. And sorry about that. It was just we added one thing on another thing on another thing, just because that was the way we were working it. And then it just created kind of this convoluted mess. So we reworked it, we cleaned it up. There's now just an unlock features channel that shows everything that you need to do as a user. But there's a bunch of good stuff on our Discord. I do encourage you to check it out and just come to chat because we've added a lot to it and we're working hard on improving it. And yeah, and also we've got Happus running again on ZenLabs, both US and EU ZenLab servers this week. It's going to be a weekly wipe, 200 pop, and just running community Happus once again. If you're interested in community Happus stuff, I encourage you to go check out discord.gg/happusrust, one word. Cyphex and the crew over there have been doing an amazing job on Happus and improving it. And in fact, this wipe, we're running it again because improvements and changes have been made to Happus versus last week. So Cyphex is still making improvements and additions to it every week, and the community seems to love it. So we're still running it. And also, just a little note, mark your calendars, October 14th. That's going to be Charitable Rust this year. I don't think I've officially announced that yet, but October 14th and 15th, but specifically the 14th, that is going to be Charitable Rust. We're supporting Charity Water this year. This is the second time we've supported them. It's an amazing organization that brings fresh water to people who need it all over the world. In the first year that we supported Charity Water, we raised like $60,000, and that was enough to get something in the realm of 500,000 people access to fresh water who previously didn't have access to it. They had to walk 10 plus miles a day with buckets to get just water. And through us raising those funds years ago, now 500,000 people plus have access to fresh water. And so that was such a big impact that we want to work with them again. We want to raise more money. I want to raise over a 250,000 for them this year. And we're restructuring Charitable Rust, so it's going to be more exciting and more engaging than ever before. So I'm really excited about that. But for the time being, just mark your calendar, October 14th. Be around that weekend. It's going to be a great time, and you can participate like you never have been able to before in previous Charitable Rust. And oh, by the way, Charitable Rust over the 8 years running has raised over $1 million for various charities. So awesome. And we're
That's a
going to keep
lot of
going.
money. Yeah.
Yeah, over $1 million raised for charities through just people playing Rust and buying skins and stuff like that. It's incredible. So really excited to have Charitable Rust going on again. So stay tuned for more information on that. But yeah, that's all that's coming to my mind, and my brain's a little foggy today, so I'm having trouble with my words. Thank you for bearing with me. But I think we'll leave it at that unless there's any other questions or anything like that.
There's a little, a little.
Oh, let's do it.
Um,
Let's do it.
is there any drops incoming?
Uh, no, no Twitch drops that we've seen. And it's been a little while since we've seen any Twitch drops. So we'll keep you posted. But at the moment, we haven't seen Twitch drops since the awesome charity event earlier in the year. And I'm thinking maybe from May, we'll see some Twitch drops, but no words yet. So I do check the twitch.facepunch.com page at least once or twice a week just to see if anything has come up there. But they normally do tweet about it when it's announced as well. So keep an eye on that and we'll let you know as soon as we see anything.
Do you have any plans to tweak the guides tab on the Rustafied side? I noticed the electrical tab still uses the old Cloud's battery skin, etc.
Oh, fuck yeah. God,
Yeah,
you're calling
there's
me
a
out.
few that needs to be
Oof, you're
updated.
calling me out. I get a little sweaty when I get called out like that because yeah, we do need to update that guide. I thought about just ripping it the fuck out to be honest with you because and what I really need is I need someone to take on updating those guides. If anyone is interested, uh, join Discord and just ping me, be like, hey, I'm interested in the guides. I'll add you as a friend. Let's talk. Because I definitely need to update those guides, but I've been working so much on just moderating the servers and creating new functionality for Discord and all this stuff that I haven't gotten into the guides in a while. But yeah, if you are interested in helping us update the guides, it yeah, and it might even be a paid position. So if you're interested, uh, go over to Discord and ping me. Tell me you're interested in updating the guides, and let's talk because I definitely got to do that.
So I'm not sure I pronounce his name right. Poil underscore. I appreciate but I appreciate all the stuff you guys do.
Oh, thank you for saying that, and thank you for the acknowledgement. It does mean a lot to me. So thank you.
And he's also asking what is the best way to support you guys?
Just watching us on Twitch, playing in our servers, and if you really feel like being generous, buy a VIP pass for the servers. That is literally the best way to support us. The only way that we can run the servers that we do, we run like 40 servers around the world. Pretty much every server needs its own dedicated box, like its own dedicated hardware, because this game is not very optimized when it comes to running on the server end. And so that takes a lot to run all these servers around the world, but we can consistently because of the support of the community, and the majority of that support does come through our VIP program. So that's a wonderful way to support us, and I just do want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who does support us. If you just watch on Twitch, if you give us bits or subscribe, and especially to our wonderful, beautiful, loyal VIP customers, thank you all so much, because without that support, we wouldn't be able to do what we do here and show up every week and run the servers that we run. So, really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much.
And we can maybe end it with, what is this monument?
This monument is the upcoming nuclear missile silo. It is available for public testing on the aux2 branch. If you want to try it out, right click, go to Steam Library, right click on Rust Staging, go to Properties, Betas tab, and then select the aux2 from the select dropdown, and then join a server after your client updates. You can try it out yourself. Not sure if this nuclear missile silo is going to make it in for the update 2 weeks from today. That is the next update and forced wipe, May 4th, 2 weeks from today, about 2 weeks and 10 minutes to be precise. 2 p.m. Eastern is when we expect that update to go live 2 weeks from today. But also, once again, not clear if the nuclear missile silo is going to make it in for that update, as it's still on the aux2 branch. If it was on just normal staging, I'd say, yeah, it's most likely going to make it in. But I'm on the fence now and leaning towards maybe not making it in. But let's see. We'll keep you posted as always.
Yeah, Higgs and I was just having a sending a link. I was just faster for the guard. Someone was asking about the guard.
Oh yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to help us update them, please ping me on Discord. Because they do need to be up. That's been in the back of my head for like a while now. But now that I just got called out on Twitch about it, I'm like, okay, let's do something about it.
So, what is the best and fastest way for people to report a hacker?
So the best way, if you're playing on a Rustafied server, is just using our /report command, and you can use that in game in chat /report, or you can go into our Discord. I do recommend using our Discord because it's easier to track the report. When you do it in Discord, you get a report ID, and if you want to follow up with a moderator on your report, then they're going to ask you for a report ID. So I do encourage you to take note of your report ID when you take a report. If action is taken on your report via either Discord or in game, if the player is kicked, banned, muted, or whatever, you will get a notice that action has been taken. And I also encourage you to F7 as well. I know it's weird to say report in two places, but F7 goes to the devs and EAC, and that helps them eventually take action as well, ideally. But the best way on Rustified servers right now is to do /report. And then, of course, go into our Discord and bitch and moan about how your report hasn't been looked into. No, I'm just kidding. Please don't do that. But of course, some people are going to do that, and that's fine. I get it. But yeah, /report.
Last one just came in. Rumors are saying it will be a wipe event for whitelist servers. Your thoughts on the idea of a whitelist Rust?
Well, the whole wipeless Rust thing, it's funny because the only way wipeless Rust works is if you have something that wipes the server. Like that's pretty much what what was just said there almost. And that's where I've always said is wipeless Rust, it sounds like a good thing, but in actuality I don't see how ever it would work, because after a couple months people are going to get stale, want a fresh start. People aren't going to want to start on a server that wiped 3 months ago and has Zergs who have castles all over the place, taking people out. It needs to almost come back to square zero to keep the playing field exciting and level. And I do see how, and there was talk years ago, I think, and I haven't found it, but Gary mentioned somewhere the idea of having a player initiated wipe event via a nuclear detonation. So, given that was a thing years ago, that was a concept for the devs. And now the devs have said, we've got a nuclear missile silo and it's going to shed some light on the happenings around Rust. I think this is the best option we've had so far for a player catalyzed wipe event. Now, will this be that? I don't know. The devs haven't said anything that I can find specifically about it. So it is all hearsay at the moment. But I think for a wipeless, and I throw up the air quotes with that, a wipeless Rust to work, we'd need something that does kind of wipe the server one way or another. And this would make some sense to have it be a player initiated thing. Yeah, so it's definitely an interesting gameplay change if they are going that route. But once again, it's all speculation. We don't know if that is going to be what they do, or if this is just going to be a normal monument that you just have to get out of. You get trapped in if you don't have a blue card and you got to get out. It's like a little harder to get in or get out of, but then there's much better loot in there, maybe. And it could just be that potentially, but everything's speculation at this point. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see as this materializes a little more.
I just saw one. What was that? Oh, yeah, here. Are they making it like the nuclear silos in Fallout 76, you think?
I didn't play Fallout 76, believe it or not. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Do
I
you guys
wouldn't
know?
know either. No.
No, me neither.
But I saw a few people say the same, so I feel like it may be similar to that.
Could be. Could be.
Yeah, I think that's it, Bugs.
All right, wonderful. Well, we will leave it at that then. Thank you all so much for joining us. And once again, we're not developers of the game. We're just fans of the game. We're an independent operation here, so to speak. And we just love reporting on development news and running the best servers that we can. And the only way that we can do that is through the support of the community. So, once again, to anyone who just tunes in and watches, to people who give bits and subscribe on Twitch, and to our wonderful, beautiful, loyal VIP customers, thank you all so much for the support. We're going to wind this puppy down, but we will be back as always next week. Same time, same place to give you a rundown of what is going on Rust development. Also, in the meantime, you can always check out Rustafied on Twitter and YouTube and go to rustafied.com to see this article and check out our Discord. We got some awesome stuff going on, map voting and things like that. And you can report players and chat in our Discord. And yeah, enough self promotion for now. We'll just leave it at that. But we will see you again next week. A huge thank you to everyone for tuning in, and a huge thank you, as always, to my co MCs, Artemis and Miss D. Thank you.
You're welcome as always, Bugs.
Yep, you're most welcome.
And with that, I hope you all have a wonderful week and a wonderful wipe. This is Bugs signing off.